I think for professional athletes, there is everything that you do is a mindset. You have to train really hard in pre-season, and each week you're training hard. You've got to prepare for games, and you have to go into all those things with the right mindset to be able to perform at your best. Talk me through what you do, maybe to prepare for a game, how you get in the right mindset to walk onto a field, not letting the nerves overcome your performance, and be able to walk out there and play with such a calm head, and especially being somebody so young as well, and being in the spotlight week in, week out.
Yeah, I think it's taken me a couple of years to probably try and find my routine, and I'm still working on that still today. I reckon each next time I play it'll be a little bit different, but I think I start the season and just start building a bit of a routine. It's usually a late night game. Usually sleep pretty well, but the night before a game, have a bit of a sleep in, and then just go out my day. I try and keep moving a little bit, whether that's going for a little walk to a cafe or with a few of the boys. And then I think trying to stay off my phone and off social media and off all those apps as much as I possibly can. Just with my eyes, it's sore eyes. I know that I have to stay off my phone for as much as I can, and then I'm usually one of the first ones to get to the game, get there, like to check out the field, have a look and see little trends in it, whether the weather's what way the wind's blowing, that sort of stuff. And then, I think we do a lot of breath work as well. I think a lot of breath work helps me get into the right state and try and keep myself as calm as I can. You can play the game before it's actually played a lot of the times. And I try and keep control of that. And we usually have a team meeting, and then I'll do usually 3 rounds of ice baths about an hour before kickoff, just to try and calm myself down. I know the ice bath drops my heart rate a fair bit, so it calms me down, gets myself back in control of my body, and then going into warm up, trying to get that heart rate going back up again and get that energy going, feeling good, feeling loose, and ready to go. That's the process I go through on game days.
And what about, so that's, I guess, that physical preparation and the mental preparation. Do you have to tell yourself anything? And I guess also then talk me through when you're on the field as well. If you make a mistake or the score's not in your favour, you're losing. Again, there's a mindset that you have to adopt there. You can throw in the towel and give up and pretend that, I know that you're not that sort of person, that you will fight to the last second of a game to still try and win. You are ultra competitive, and all your siblings know that very well. They've always come off second best, whether it's physically or not, in backyard footy. But how do you talk yourself through those moments in a game where everything's on the line?
I think it's just staying pretty calm and not letting the moment get in the way too much. And like I said, just being in control of yourself. You can make it seem, a lot of times you can make the situation seem a lot bigger than what it is. And I think I just try and stay as calm as I can, and back this skill that I've practiced a million times really allows me to not feel as much pressure in those situations. And I think it's exciting as well. Like I said before, with the injuries and everything like that, I'm fortunate to be in the position that I am, and just owning that. That's what I've wanted to do for my whole life. And people dream about those moments. And I think taking them on and inviting that pressure instead of fearing it.
That's actually great advice, inviting the pressure instead of fearing it. Love that. And you just touched on, this is something that you wanted to do from your childhood. Take us back, because though I'm your mother, I've never really asked you this question, but when did you know that you wanted to be a professional footballer? And from that moment, have you consciously taken steps towards achieving that dream of yours?
I think it's sort of something I've always wanted to do. Obviously, dad and uncle was playing, and then I think I always loved it. I love that side of the competing side and playing with your mates, and as you work through it, it's exciting. You're playing, you start working your way towards a goal, and I think I wouldn't exactly know when. I'd say it's always been a goal of mine. I've always loved watching it. I've always loved playing it, and I'd say it's something I've ever since I probably started playing rugby league, it's something that I wanted to do.
And do you think as you've grown up, you've made choices and decisions to get you to that dream? A lot of people don't realise the sacrifices that you have to make to be a professional athlete, and even the sacrifices you have to make to get there, but then the sacrifices you have to make when you are there, in terms of you miss out on the 18th, you miss out on the 21st. Eventually, you probably start missing out on some of the weddings and engagement parties and that sort of thing. From your childhood, did maybe even share some of the sacrifices you felt like you made, or it wasn't a sacrifice because this is what you wanted to do? I'm not really sure.
If you're ready to be a super organised, focused and productive property manager, buckle up, because Colmio is about to revolutionise the way that you work. Colmio is the driving force behind property management excellence in residential real estate. Now picture this, a comprehensive end-to-end system designed to be the beating heart of your property management tasks, manage your properties, owners and tenants, and handle payments, inspections, and even marketing listings without leaving the platform. Colmio is designed to be an all-in-one solution to all your property management needs. And here's the game changer. Colmio isn't just software. It's been awarded the most innovative prop tech scale up in 2023. Yes, you heard it right. Colmio has been recognised for their groundbreaking approach to property management software. How good is that? So property managers, whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, dive into the future of property management with Colmio. You can book in a demo with the team today and go in their weekly draw for a Prezi gift card worth $100. All you need to do is to head to the link colmio.com/thatpropertymum, and Colmio is Kolmeo.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't feel like I had to sacrifice a great deal. Coming through was always, I think having friends and obviously family that were involved in similar sort of stuff that I was doing made it a lot easier for myself. Yeah, and like I said, like it wasn't sacrificing because I knew what I wanted to do and this is the goal that I wanted to have. And I think I was probably lucky enough to be surrounded by people that had similar goals and similar aspirations as I did. And yeah, I think as time goes on, obviously I'm going to miss certain events, and sometimes it does get frustrating. You wanted to be at a mate's birthday, or you wanted to fly home to see family or friends or something like that. But yeah, I think it's that time will come, and I'll have a fair break in the off season, which allows me to get back and do that sort of stuff. And then even through the season, there's times where you can get back and make sure they try and catch up with everyone when I do get those opportunities.
Let's go back a little bit. And I really want to touch on the mindset and the resilience around the tough times. I was with you when you first went down to Sydney and COVID hit. And maybe talk us through what some of the restrictions were like for you during COVID and what that experience was like, because that was a challenging time to start your career, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was obviously frustrating. The first time moving away from home and having to go down to Sydney, it was when I first got down there. It was a little bit tough, but I didn't mind it too much. I was able to go out, do stuff, go to cafes, see people, come home whenever I wanted. And then, yeah, that COVID sort of period hit, and the restrictions were tough for normal people. But then football was on steroids. It was couldn't go to a cafe, couldn't go see anyone, couldn't have any visitors over. Yeah, couldn't fly, couldn't drive within from besides going to training and coming home, and that was obviously extremely tough for me. I wasn't 18 yet either. I was still sort of 17. Yeah, the first time out of home was it was obviously really difficult. There's a lot of times I wanted to go home and get out of there, and it's very frustrating. But looking back on it, I think that's probably helped me in the situation that I'm in now as well. I think going through the knee injury, going through other injuries and setbacks in football, it all doesn't seem as bad as that time. And I know other people would have suffered just as badly as I did throughout that COVID period as well. And yeah, I know coming out of it's definitely made me a better footballer and stronger.
Yeah, I was amazed at your resilience through that period. And one thing that stuck with me was it was towards the end of the season and the coach actually gave you the opportunity to go home, and you didn't. You decided that you were that far through that period that you decided to stay on. And do you think, was that something you wanted to prove to yourself? Was that just you knew that sticking it out for that last few weeks would help you in the long run?
I think, I guess it was, obviously tough. I was having some, tough conversations, and I knew that I wanted to, obviously they were going towards the finals as well. I wanted to experience that whole thing. And like you said, I think I got that as far as I did, and I wanted to just finish it off. And it's obviously extremely tough, but I know now that I've finished it and got through that, it's made living in Sydney or any other just sort of setback, it's made that a lot easier as well. So I'm obviously very glad I stuck through it.
Yeah. And you did amazing. I also now, and I don't want to keep talking on all the negatives, but I just really want to highlight the mindset. And because I think people think that athletes have got it easy and they've got the dream life and you get paid lots of money, and they don't see the humanness behind what you guys sometimes have to go through. And I want to just take you back a little bit to last year, and the team's form wasn't great and you were dropped from the team. For a lack of a better word, you were put back into reserve grade, and it was actually in one of those games that you hurt your knee for the first time, and you were out for a couple of months at that time. And there was a lot of public scrutiny, and that was the first time I feel you probably experienced that public scrutiny. It's one thing to have it happen and no one really talking about it, but you were under the spotlight in the national media, online, the trolls were going to town. And talk me through that and how difficult that was, and how you come out the other side of that to obviously then help the team that year into the finals, and then come out again this year and have an amazing season. I'm biased, I know, but you did have an amazing season.
Yeah, it was obviously, I guess frustrating at the time. And I didn't really know, what to think at the time. It was early, obviously early in the season there. And there's obviously, it's time of year. So kick it up a little bit and you get a bit frustrated. But I think my goal was just to go back and try and play as good a footy as I could and earn my spot back again. And I knew I was good enough to be back in the NRL. And I think I just tried to go out there and play some good footy. And that second game when I did my knee, I thought I had a good start to the game, and I was probably glad I had a good start. It probably made me feel better during my injury. So I knew I still had a little bit of talent left, but no, it was. I was obviously frustrated, and then obviously the knee, because obviously it was fine to get that spot back, and then the knee injury happened, and it was a bit of a slow sort of process to get back out there. But I think it gave me a chance to work on a few things, have a good think, sit back and think. It's hard when you're in the flow of the season, you're playing footy. It's hard to sit back and reflect on what was happening. And I was able to look back and pick out what I wanted to do differently in my game and how I could be better, and also spend a bit of time working on building a bit of strength to myself, and was able to do that as well. And I think that excitement and the looking forward to getting back out in the field was really driving me.
And that competitiveness, I imagine, as well, kicked in for you as well. Getting back out there, winning games, feeling good, competing hard. And I think what I'm hearing from you as well is that you didn't blame anyone else. You've just gone, okay, what have I contributed to this situation and how can I improve it, which is amazing mindset.
I think I was, like I said, I was able to sit back and reflect a bit more on the whole situation after the injury. So in the end, it was probably a bit of a blessing in disguise as well. And I was able, like I said, I was able to know what I wanted to do differently in my game. And I was fortunate enough to be able to implement that this season. And obviously, it worked out pretty well this season.
If somebody was listening and they're maybe struggling with a difficult situation, whether it's in business or life, would you have any advice for them, what they can do to shift out of that negative mindset, or that they're not feeling very resilient at the moment? What would your best advice be to somebody?
I think speaking about it's a big thing. You got to talk to someone about it, whoever that may be. Find those people that you can communicate that with. There's always someone there that'll listen to you and be able to give you a bit of guidance, or if not, just have an ear to listen to. I think that's, it's very important. And I think just having perspective, I think that's a big one for me. Just having perspective on how other people live their lives and how bad really is it a lot of the times, and what you make up in your head, the situation you make up in your head's 1,000 times worse than the actual situation that's happening in real life. So I think, perspective and having that person there to talk to as well is very important.
It's great advice. Now, talk to us about the year ahead. You're down in Sydney pre-season, doing your rehab. What's the goals for this year? What are you hoping when are you hoping to get back on the field, and how are you handling not being an active part of pre-season, or are you actually loving that?
Aiming to be back sort of June, July. Fingers crossed, touch wood, there's no setbacks or anything going, but so far it's all been, very good so far. And back into preseason, being back for about 2 weeks now. Not doing a great deal, a lot of watching and low level weights at the moment. But excited. I think March I'll hopefully start doing a bit of running and be involved in a bit more football stuff. And yeah, it's tough watching out in the field. I enjoy the field side of the footy, and it's a little bit frustrating at the moment, but yeah, I'm only young and I'll be back out there, no time.
Amazing. Sam, thank you so much for joining your mum on a podcast episode. I'm really grateful. Needless to say, I'm really proud. And I can't wait to see you back on the footy field and have some trips away again next year.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Can I ask you a quick favour before you leave this episode? Now, we all know how important reviews are for businesses these days, and mine is no different. If you could spare just a minute to follow, rate and review this podcast, it would mean a lot to me. In fact, what would get me super excited is if you share this podcast with someone in the industry who you think might need to hear some of the episodes right now. And if you'd like to find out more about working with me or any of the products I have to help you start, grow or scale your property management business, head to my website, thatpropertymum.com.au, or check out the links in the show notes.